This is Lieutenant Tomac here. Our first encounter is with jagged, floating chunks of ice, plenty of water below them, but not stable enough to land. But directly up ahead is a more stable area where we should be able to sit down. About to be there shortly, sir. Tomac out.
Major Quent, we have spotted a source of running water, a steady stream being emanated by the heat below the surface. We are landing the external excursion vehicle directly at those coordinates,
Acknowledged.
sir.
Acknowledged. This is Major Flint here. Appreciate your appraisal of status of mission. Contact me later with more information as mission progresses. Major Flint out.
Lieutenant Slokowski to the Future Hope, landing successful. About to start the pumps up for water extraction into the tanks. Slokowski out.
Major, this is Dr. Reeve Summer reporting in. We will very likely be down here for several hours at the very least, possibly a whole day. Dr. Reeve Summer around.
To Future Hope, come in please. We have spotted a large claw mark in the snow. There is obviously life of some kind here on this planet. Sending visual image up to you now, continuing water extraction operation, Lieutenant Tomac out.
Floyd. You've been coming here for a very, very long time, and you tell me the same stories over and over again, 20, 30 times and what have you, and I hope my therapy's doing you so good and all, and I'm trying to help you and what have you and so forth. Anyway, you keep telling me what a great painter you are, and this morning I've got to study the Wall Street Journal and talk to my stockbroker and buy a few stocks and sell a few stocks, what have you. So over there next to the wall, Floyd, you don't listen to anything I tell you anyway. You don't follow any of my advice. I just realized that even though you're paying me for these sessions, that perhaps it would be therapeutic if you were doing something instead of just laying there on the couch telling the same stories over and over again. So there's some buckets of paint over there and the paint brushes and the paint rollers, and I'd like for you to go ahead and start painting my office, and while you're telling me, your stories and your problems and what have you. And forgive me if the phone rings a few times and I have to make a few calls to my stockbroker. So go ahead. The paint's right over there, Lloyd. Just go ahead and get started. Well, Doc. Sure. I'll just be glad to paint the office for you. I'll show you that I'm the best painter that ever was, and that I'm underestimated and underappreciated by all these people and underpaid. They don't ever give me what I'm worth. I've told you all the apartment stories. I won't tell you all those apartment stories again. I mean, the make-readies where I'd paint and I'd hire somebody and they didn't know what they're doing, and I'd have to go back in behind them, and they'd leave paint on the floor and stains, and I'd have to redo the whole thing. And I could paint 3 apartments easily. I can paint 3 apartments in 5 hours, where it would take some other crew, 10 hours to do the same thing, and then I still have to go in behind them. I mean, what can I say? Just same old, same old, same old. But I'm having a lot of anxiety, Doc. I think you know, and I guess you're right. You know, this paint roller up and down the wall is going to help.
It's my stockbroker, Floyd. Shut up, Floyd. Shut up. Yes. Buy that one. Yes, buy it. It's up. Buy it. That one's going down. Sell it. Sell. Thank you. Yes, I'll call you back in a few minutes after I study my Wall Street Journal a little more. Thank you. I turn on the news, it's something devastating all the time. It's just got me worried all the time. Just worried all the time. I go to one of these groups, you know, the Anxiety Anonymous or whatever, but I don't want to hang out with a bunch of people that are just paranoid all the time. I mean, I've already got enough anxiety. They'll just be sitting around worrying about other things. They'll give me more stuff to worry about, and I already have enough things to worry about. I mean, turn on the news, I mean, I'm afraid World War III is going to break out or whatever, what with the new president and all and stuff. And, you know, I mean, what can I do? I mean, you know, so I found that I can take my mind off of anxiety, you know, by simply, you know, engaging in sexual activity. You know, if I bring some young woman over and we get it on, well, it takes my mind off my anxieties for a while, Doc, you know, and all. And so I found that's very therapeutic, you know, so it's sex therapy, and I'm doing my own sex therapy and all. I mean, I have a stack of those X-rated magazines, you know, that I get down there at the thrifting marts. You know, they have the covers ripped off, so I get them for half price and all. And I mean, you know, masturbation's always an option, but it's just not as good, you know. It's just much better if you have the real warm flesh there with you. So, you know, I meet lots of women, go through lots of girls, you know, and all. I've never been able to maintain a serious long-term relationship with any female, you know, and all, Doc, and stuff. So that's it, Doc. That's it. I'll have the office painted by the time our little 1-hour session's over and all, you know.
Audio Diary, Sharon C.L. Lowe. I am undergoing some dramatic changes with my body. The scars from the tainted Vincini face scream have all but disappeared from my face and arms. My complexion is like brand new, but my skin color is very pale. I continue to find any sunlight to be very uncomfortable. I even start to sunburn after only a couple of minutes outside unless it is extremely cloud and overcast. I increasingly find that my energy level increases dramatically at dusk and grows stronger throughout the night. Healing of any injury is much more rapid. I scratched my arm accidentally the other night and the scratch had healed within 30 minutes, completely gone, without a trace. My craving for rare steaks has increased even more, and I am experiencing unusual urges. At the dance clubs, if I dance with some guy other than LaChance, I have this intense urge to bite his throat. I know it is just a matter of time before I act on this urge, but I must be careful not to do so in a public place like a dance club. I will have to go home with the guy or at least lure him outside into an alley to fulfill my urge. My vision, especially at night, is greatly enhanced, as is my hearing. Whatever is happening to me, I like it. In fact, I welcome it. I welcome it. Tonight is the night. Say swore, say la nuit. I will choose my first guy tonight. I will bite my first throat. It is time. It is time at last for my becoming. I am becoming someone greater, a being more powerful, a force to be reckoned with, at last, at last. cure to loneliness. Join Murgatroyd's hottest, sexiest singles and get you some.
Oh, baby.
Get you some.
Ain't a thing wrong with a woman being sexy as long as she still be fat.
Murgatroyd singles. The best singles in town by a far. Come get you some. Come get you some.
Murgatroyd Singles Online. This is the hot, happening place where singles meet. Find your ultimate match right here in Murgatroyd, right here on the hottest singles site online.
Ain't a thing wrong with a woman being sexy as long as she still be
Serving
fat.
singles in the greater Flat Town Murgatroyd area. Come get you some
Murgatroyd
today.
singles. The best singles in town by a far. Come get you some. Come get
Guaranteed
you some.
surefire cure to loneliness. Join Murgatroyd's hottest, sexiest singles and get you some.
Oh, baby.
Get you some.
Ain't a thing wrong with a woman being sexy as long as she still be stout. Everybody just calls me Aunt Susie. I was married for 55 years, and then that two-timing son of a gun ran off with a dadgum paper doll and fathered two bastard white trash paper kids. So I moved out on him. I dumped him. And I'm single again. And I make real good spaghetti. And I don't like loud skateboarders keeping me awake at night outside my door. And I did a little opera. You might remember it. You might have seen it here in Murgatroyd. It's called Phantom of the Opry. I wrote and produced and directed that. So I've got a little artistic flair, a little talent, as they say. And I do like going walking in Dead Center Park and all. And I miss my band that's been running around on me. But I need a new band to take my mind off that old two-timing son of a gun. So just look me up here at Susie and give me a call and we can meet down there at Crispy's and have us a triple or something. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.
The late night Les Tomac show, Dark and
The
Deep.
show is hosted by Humilit's son, as Les Tomac is away this week working on a documentary. Tonight's guest is Dr. Derrickson, developer of the Energy Time Flux device. Welcome to Dark and Deep,
Welcome to the
everyone.
show tonight, Dr. Derrickson. I understand you are recuperating from a heart attack, and I want to express my get well wishes to you, as I am sure all of our viewers and listeners tonight do as well. Well, Dr. Derrickson, as you are quite well aware, the Energy Time Flux device was stolen by a small armed team of paper dolls and taken into the future along with Flashy the Paper Doll and Dr. Reeb Summer. Can you tell us what the potential threat or danger level might be from all of this? And let me add that I understand that President Devane has placed you in charge of building yet another Energy Time Flux device since the original one has been stolen.
First of all, I want to thank you very much, you Millicent, for having me here on the show, and I do appreciate your warm wishes for my well-being. I am feeling better after the heart attack. I have recuperated, and all I can say about to address your question is, yes, indeed, this group of armed paper dolls from the future did invade the Senate hearing, indeed, and they did seize the original energy time flux device and then took it into the future. Now, there are all sorts of unknown ramifications emanating from that. If they could get to use it to travel to different time periods, they could disrupt the current timeline that we exist in. You know, we may suddenly wake up to changes that we're not even aware of because we're not going to know the changes took place. That's the thing about time tampering. And whereas I do not agree with Senator Devane's policies, many of them, and yes, you are correct that he has ordered me to create another energy time flux device, there's yet another problem with a second one being in existence. Whenever this second one begins to be used, it's going to even further disrupt the fabric or the equilibrium of the time-space continuum. In other words, this is a mathematical problem. When you have too many different incursions, shall we say, or travels back and forth through time, I mean, the original energy time flux device is bad enough going back and forth. It creates alternate timelines and it creates alternate realities as well as being a doorway to them as well. If we get a second device going, it will even exponentially multiply this effect so that there'll be even more alternate realities and timelines created. You know, there's at a certain point, some of them will merge. Some of the various timelines will merge. This is just a quantum physics mathematical thing. It's difficult for the layman, for the average person to wrap their mind around. I'm not sure I fully understand it myself. But I'm just telling you that there's unknown ramifications. In other words, there are no constants. Nothing that has ever happened is now permanent. Nothing that is happening at this moment is now permanent or fixed, and nothing that will happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, is no longer fixed or permanent. It is now variable. When you have two separate energy time flux devices going, the variables are dramatically enlarged. So I'm telling you, Hugh, and our listening audience out there and our viewers, this is a grave, grave consequence. I attempted to advise President Devane against the creation of a second device, but he's insisting upon it, and I'm afraid I have no choice. He's bound and determined to go into the future if he can, or send a team of people into the future to attempt to retrieve the original device. And, well, what can I say? I'm going to do what I can, obviously, as a loyal citizen, but I have my reservations about this whole thing. I have my reservations about it.
Really stupid if you think you're gonna pull some shit like that and get away with it. Fuck with my friends, we're gonna have a problem. Got it?
Oh, baby. Ain't a thing wrong with a woman being sexy as long as she still be the most incredibly hot black mama since Foxy Brown. And she's coming to a theater screen near you. Anita Draftsville is back.
And I love it. Dig this. Changes come to America.
Oh, no. Come on now, baby.
Almighty God. And you know this.
And I'll get back to you. And not interested. I know how you do. That's my phone.
The history of policing in the United States stems from the caching of runaway slaves.
2015! Scroll game dish is right back.
Hello, and I'll get back to you.
Changes come to America.
Oh, no, come on now, baby.
Almighty God.
That's my phone.
Nighttime approaches and my thirst has become insatiable. And tonight, LaChance, I am striking out on my own to fulfill my feverish bloodlust. Tonight I will hit the clubs and have my pick of the human prey, unsuspecting, unaware, like sheep being led to the slaughter, and the blood of my first shall quench my thirst and make him my slave, my minion. He will become my servant and do my bidding. And there are so many to choose from, so many, beaucoup, beaucoup. Tonight I claim my first human prey. My first.
Late in the year 2049, The Future Hope vessel has traveled some 12 light years where it has begun an emergency water extraction operation on the frozen ice planet Glacium 1 in order to supply the ship with badly needed water. While on the surface of the planet, Lieutenant Slokowski was attacked by a creature which was later killed by Lieutenant Tomac with laser weapons. Lieutenant Slokowski has been brought back aboard the Future Hope to receive medical attention from Dr. Getrick while Lieutenant Tomac and a team have returned to the surface to load more water barrels and transport them up to the Future Hope vessel.
Lieutenant Tomac here, come in Future Hope. Major Quint, I have discovered something inside an ice cave. Something very interesting, some kind of an artifact frozen solid. Request permission to bring it up to the ship for further study. I think that you as well as Dr. Getrick and Dr. Reeb Summer will be very, very interested in this thing, whatever it is. We'll bring it up along with this latest batch of water barrels, sir. Lieutenant Tomac out.
Oh, come on, Major Quint, you gotta let me go. You gotta go let me go down there on that mission.
Timmy, you don't have the training or experience of the people here on the ship. We don't know all of your abilities, what all you can do yet. I promise you there will be future missions. As a matter of fact, they're bringing an artifact from the ice now, bringing it up to the ship. Come with me down to the deck lounge. You can see this new artifact.
Huh. That's not an artifact. Well, that's Flashy, frozen in ice. We gotta thaw her out.
I agree, Timmy. Dr. Reeb Summer, Dr. Getrick, pay attention to this. Very carefully thaw her out in case she does come back to life. She may be a useful source of information. We need to figure out how she got out here and what time she comes from. She may be able to provide information to us about what's going on back on Earth. Yes, we must thaw her out.
Yes. I will oversee the thawing process, and when she revives, Major, I will attempt to communicate with her. She should remember me from back at the biotech lab 3 decades ago, sir. Yes, she should.
Murgatroyd Arts Theater proudly presents the immortal cult classic, Anastasia Bellini's Loose Wicked Women, blazing across the Murgatroyd Arts Theater screen for a very limited engagement. Hurry! Tickets are extremely limited. First come, first serve basis only. Thank you.
Back home at last after my first night out as a huntress. I see you waited up for me, he, LeChance. Worried about me or just a little jealous? He. I must say my first night was, shall we say, extremely liberating and extremely empowering. My thirst was sated well, at least temporarily, ha, and I see you've been busy quenching your thirst with something besides blood tonight, my dear LeChance. Oh my, just how many bottles did you drink anyway, my sweet?
C'est pas mal, Sharon. Vous êtes très jeune et très téméraire. You are so young and so very reckless. I've been drinking tonight to take my mind off the rampage you went on. It's all over the news. 3 men bitten in the neck at a bar tonight, bleeding profusely. One of them drained of blood in the alley behind the club tonight. You made your getaway. It's miraculous you did. How reckless. You should focus in on and choose one victim, one new servant, one minion. Do not spread yourself so thin. 3 of them will be very hard for you to keep up with, Sharon. So I must admit, you are extremely resourceful. Well, mon cher, obviously I'm very glad you made it back. Now as the daylight approaches, dawn is almost here. We must retire to the seclusion of black curtains and black satin sheets. And I will sleep off this alcohol-induced, dream-like state you've sent me to with your recklessness. Yes, let us sleep during the day. Perhaps we will go out as a team tonight. Though I admire your bravery in embarking on your own tonight, going solo. Well, let us now go and get our daytime sleep.
Released on the screen for a limited time at last. They're wild. They're disgusting. They're white trash boys. Anastas Bellini's cult classic sequel to Wicked Loose Women. Wild, disgusting white trash boys. Limited number of seats available, limited number of tickets sold on a first come, first served basis. Hurry, limited number of tickets available at the Murgatroyd Arts Theatre.
Ward Boys Gone Wild. Wayward Boys Gone Wild.
At last, Wayward Boys Gone Wild.
Wild. They're disgusting. They're white trash boys.
At last, Wayward Boys Gone Wild.
They're disgusting. They're white trash boys.
At last, Wayward Boys Gone Wild.
Lieutenant Slokowski sustained a wound and lost some blood, but he's going to be okay. A few days rest will have him up in no time. The paper doll creature we found frozen in the ice is slowly thawing out, but a preliminary analysis of her DNA A taken from her outer surface tissues does indeed confirm with our computer records that this is, indeed, Flashy the paper
Dr. Reed Summer, Dr. Getrick, Timmy, there's only one thing I don't understand. How did Flashy the paper doll get way out here, 12 light years from Earth, on Glacium 1?
Oh, well, she got here the same way I did. I bet. But why did the energy time flux field bring me to the ship, but yet it brought her to the frozen planet below? And how long has she been down there?
Indeed. There's a lot of answers we need to get to the bottom of this somehow.
Allow me, Major Quant, to explain the quantum physics of it. Apparently, Flashy entered the energy time flux field near the Eiffel Tower in France at about the same time we were launching this ship from the Earth. The energy time flux field which she entered was attracted to our energy time flux propulsion field much as a magnet attracts another magnet. The other field was drawn to us, and followed us here, only the laws of quantum physics being what they are, it literally got here before we did. It matched out exact flight path but it arrived before we did, and since we were not yet here, it deposited Flashy down on the frozen planet below. She wasn't prepared for the extreme temperatures and having no way to build a fire, she would have sought shelter, which is why we found her in the ice cave down below. How long has she been here? No way to determine exactly but no more than a few days to a couple of weeks at most, as it has taken us 2 weeks to travel the 12 light years to get here.
Hello. Welcome to the card reading. I'm Madam Pransky, and I see on this little appointment card that my son wrote down when you called that you call yourself Aunt Suki. Well, Aunt Suki, oh my goodness, the Four of Hearts. You're going to get your heart broken in two. You know what? That old man that you're married to that they call Uncle Frank, the one that calls into all those call-in radio talk shows, he's going to turn into a two-timing son of a gun. It's the King of Clubs. Watch out for them paper doll legs. If you see him out in the backyard gyrating his hips, girl, you're in trouble, Aunt Suki. He's going to two-time and run around on you with some dadgum living, walking paper doll. And she's going to have a pair of twins, girl, that look just like him. They're going to look just like Uncle Frank in the face. They're going to have his feet and all. Thomas Paransky, you get out of Mama's liquor cabinet. If you're running for mayor, why don't you get all those campaign people to bring you some booze? Or why don't you get that wife of yours to fix you a drink? And I've only got one loaf of Wonder Bread left. You come over here, you're a grown man, and you eat up Mama's bread. Well, why don't you bring me a loaf of Wonder Bread, and why don't you buy your own bread? Why don't you buy you some Wonder Bread, Thomas Paransky? Anyway, I'm sorry, Aunt Suki. I just had to get on my son. Listen, if you've got an extra 20 today, I'll get out my crystal ball.
once. From all you have told me, you have quite a score to settle with Count Pedestrian after what he did to us both back in 1532 when he was Bishop Pedestrian in that lifetime. You've remained in the same youthful body, forever young, for 500 years, but as you have told me, it took me this long to reincarnate back to you. So I have a proposition for you. Let's make the present time our time to settle old scores, to get even with past enemies. You can go after Count Pedestrian while I go take care of Judy Vincini. For now, thanks to what I have become, I have the power to truly overcome Judy Vincini. She will bow down before me and grovel and be my willing slave. I shall rule and control Vincini Cosmetics. And you can take on Pedestrian successfully this time. That will give you control not only of France, but of the European alliance which Count Pedestrian reigns over. And after we have each dealt with those two, we can then take on President Devane. You see, LeChance, we already rule the night, together we can rule the world. We are superior beings, these humans should serve us and do our bidding, they can become our chattel. We can rule the world and make it ours. We can do this.
Mon cher. Certainly, my dear. Le monde sera à nous. Nous gouvernerons le monde. The world shall be ours. We shall rule the world. Playing for a limited engagement at the Murgatroyd Arts Center. The acclaimed sequel, critically acclaimed Anastas Bolini's Loose Wicked Women 2. It's looser, more seductive, and more salacious than the original. Hurry, seats are limited, tickets are limited. Limited engagement at the Murgatroyd Arts Theatre.
for a limited engagement at the Murgatroyd Arts Center. The acclaimed sequel, critically acclaimed Anastas Bolini's Loose Wicked Women 2. It's looser, more seductive, and more salacious than the original. Hurry, seats are limited, tickets are limited. Limited engagement at the Murgatroyd Arts Theatre.
They're making up a story so that they can control you and me.
Guest on the Les Tomac Show is Murgatroyd's Uncle Frank performing before a live studio audience.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen in the audience out there. It's Uncle Frank here, and I got another song to come out with. It's been climbing the charts, and this one is from the heart here and all, and based on actual events, stuff that happened, you know. And sometimes a man will do things he shouldn't, and he'll pay the price for it. And that's what this song is all about. And it goes a little like this. I ran off with a paper doll and broke her heart in two. I ran off and I did her wrong. Now I'm the one that's blue. I fathered two little paper kids, but the woman of my life walked out. Now I know that I was wrong, and I'm the one that's left out. I ran off with a paper doll and broke her heart in two. I had to do over again. Ain't Suki, I'd be true. Got to tell you from the bottom of my heart, now I'm still in love with you. Please come take me back, Aunt Suki, or I'll be forever blue.
brought to you by Vincini Cosmetics and Super Deluxe grocery stores, where you can find a wide variety of Vincini products.
Vincini Triple Flex Theaters, the shocking, terrifying sequel to Revenge of the Statue of the Buddha. Warning, no one will be seating during the climactic chanting scene. Here at last, Revenge of the Statue of the Buddha 2 in blood-chilling
Revenge of the Buddha 2. Now playing at all Vincini Triple Flex Theaters.